1,000 jabs were donated by Denmark. This comes at a time when Kenya is battling an acute shortage of COVID-19 doses, with many recipients of the first dose already due for the second shot. Data from the Ministry of Health shows that Kenya has administered 1,187,663 COVID-19 doses, with 192,093 people having received their second dose. At the same time, the country has reported 218 new COVID cases from a sample size of 2,577 tests, with a positivity rate of 8.5%. Rather, 343 more patients have recovered, pushing the number of those who have conquered the disease to 119,585. 5 more deaths have been reported, with one occurring in the last 24 hours, while 4 occurred on diverse dates between April and July. Cumulative fatalities have now shot to 3,461. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is warning that the highly contagious Delta variant that was first reported in India has now spread to 92 countries around the globe. WHO's technical lead for COVID-19, Maria Van Kove, however, says vaccines remain effective against the variant, especially in terms of helping to prevent severe cases and death. In terms of global trends, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says the number of new COVID-19 infections worldwide has been declining for 8 consecutive weeks, while deaths dropping for 7 consecutive weeks. However, the rate of decline has slowed in many regions, and the two numbers remain high.
Has slowed, and every region has countries that are seeing a rapid increase in cases and deaths. In Africa, the number of cases and deaths increased by almost 40% in the past week, and in some countries the number of deaths tripled or quadrupled.
President Uhuru Kenyatta is on a 2-day official visit to the Kingdom of Belgium and the European Union. Yesterday, President Kenyatta was received by King Felipe at the Royal Palace in Brussels before holding private talks. Kenyatta is also scheduled to meet the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, to discuss Kenya-EU relations and address a Kenya-Belgium business forum. Kenya's ambassador to Belgium, Professor Jacob Kaimenyi, said that Kenya is working on growing its trade with Belgium by addressing barriers such as double taxation and diversifying its exports beyond tea and coffee to include horticultural crops such as mangoes and other tropical fruits.
I represent Kenya in an organization called Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States. These are 79 countries. Amongst these countries is the East African region, which has 15 countries, amongst them majority from East Africa. Therefore, it's only fair that it takes or addresses interests that are unique to the Eastern Africa region. The other thing which is very important, as I said, is also in his capacity as the president in office of the Organization of African Caribbean and Pacific States. During this visit, he is going to address the Committee of Ambassadors, who are members or represent their respective states. And that is not a mean achievement, in that this is going to be almost a few times, I don't know whether to say 3 times, when it has happened in the past.
Kenyans living and working abroad sent home a record high 34 billion shillings in May this year, the highest inflows ever sent in a single month, defying the economic fallout occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic. The inflows were higher by 23.3% compared to 27.8 billion that was received in May last year. In 12 months to May 2021, remittances increased by 19.5% to 366.5 billion compared to 300 101.8 in the previous year. The United States remains Kenya's leading source for remittances, having contributed 57.8% of May inflows, or an equivalent of 19.7 billion, followed by North America. 29.9 billion remittances from Europe totaled to 7.1 billion, with flows from the United Kingdom leading the way at 3.7 billion. Diaspora inflows from Asia, meanwhile, totaled to 3.5 billion, beating remittances from Africa and the rest of the world. Now, a showdown is looming within the Kenya Tea Development Agency, with two factions laying claim on the leadership of the company. The new board, led by David Aichocho, has sent packing KTDA's long-serving CEO Lerionka Tiwampati and 5 other top officials. Aichocho said the 6 top officials have been sent on a 3-month compulsory leave to allow investigations into their conduct. The new board was elected last week during an extraordinary general meeting that was held by the shareholders and inaugurated by the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya. The outgoing team of the KTDA Holdings Company has since dismissed the changes, saying the meeting was not convened by KTDA Holdings PLC. In a statement from the company secretary's office, the ousted officials have asked the public to ignore any pronouncements and declarations by the new board. According to the statement, the KTDA Holdings PLC board has not been reconstituted and remains in office intact.
All these board members have been, the company of registrar of companies have already made the changes over from the previous board to the current board. So we are effectively right in office in accordance with the law. All cases brought by that have been filed by the company or the tea factory company against the Crop Tea Industry Regulation of 2020, that is Tea Act of 2020, will be considered with immediate effect. The company will support full implementation of Tea Act 2020 and will no longer pursue avenues that are against the interest of 680,000 small farmers holders. This is the order of the board communicated by the board of directors who are sat behind me.
Oil prices advanced on Monday, extending the gains they scored in the prior week. The West Texas Intermediate for July delivery added $2.02 to settle at $73.66 a barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange. Brent crude for August delivery increased $1.39 to close at $74.9 a barrel on the London ICE Futures Exchange. Prices garnered some support from optimism of a demand recovery and a weaker U.S. dollar. The dollar index, which measures the greenback against 6 major peers, decreased 0.36% to 91.8 in late trading on Monday. For the week ending Friday, the West Texas Intermediate rose 1% and Brent gained 1.1% based on the front-month contracts. Let's now look at how the forex market is performing.